All right, welcome to our latest pad video. So we're coming to you with this video with some real world experience. Okay, this is one of those live and learn videos. So vehicle come in 2013 Audi S4 with V6 engine code CGX, like Charlie Golf X-ray. Vehicle had fault codes for secondary air. We're all familiar with those, the P0491 and the P0492. So in the past, and you can see in our other video we made on these cars, or this engine style, where we have removed front end, removed the exhaust manifold heat shields, removed the manifolds, and manually cleaned out these exhaust ports. That method is extremely effective. It works very well, but it's extremely time consuming and frustrating for me. So, and when it costs more, it takes more time, it ultimately costs more money. So Volkswagen Audi has put out a special toolkit. It's VAS 6825, VAS 6825, and that kit, when we purchased it, came with 5 pieces. You can see there's two wands, pressure washing wands. There's this adapter, which I'll get to shortly, and these adapters here as well. So their new idea is the bulletin states to remove or just put the front end in service position, which means just move the front end out so far, leave everything attached. So I chose not to do that, just simply because of the coolant pipe that I have to remove. I like to have my work area up here where I can get to it. So it may take me a little more time there, but I feel like I make up the time here because I'm not bending over the front of the car, and I'm not also trying to put these bolts in when I'm going back together, leaning over the front of the car and trying to access bolts that I cannot see, or fasteners. So that's a preference. So their fix for it is connect this wand to your pressure washing wand right here. So it just threads in. Note to self, make sure you have one of these male to male adapters before you start this process. You can see right here, every pressure washing wand that I've seen have been female on this end, female on this end on the threads. So I had to go stop what I was doing to go buy this male to male adapter. So these two pieces would go together. Okay, that tip's free. So the purpose of these right here, this spray tip sprays 360 degrees straight out, or say at 90-degree angles, but there's several holes, orifices in the end of this tip that spray water at pressure when this wand is run through the secondary air port or passageway. So this is step one. What I'll also say is for these V6s, the adapters they sent to us that came in our kit, VAS 6825-5 and VAS 6825-6. This is what they look like. There's 2 of them. They vary slightly, but the overall size and shape of them are the same. They do not fit this engine. I didn't pay attention to that when I ordered the tool. I ordered the part number that was in the bulletin. This is what they came with. I'm not able to use these, or at least not on the front side of this engine. So I'm having to makeshift another way, and I'll show you that shortly. But make sure if you got this engine that you also order from Volkswagen part number VAS 6825/1, VAS 6825/1, and that'll be a similar adapter, but it'll have a flat stock piece that comes up here and bolts to the threads here at the water outlet, the water port here. So this part's the same, but the flange and where it connects to the engine block is different. So these are not working for me today. So I'll show you how I'm doing it. So anyway, we removed the front end, we got access to it, we got pictures and video to show you before we even started of how stopped up and carboned up these passages were. And I have finished this one side, bank one, I have finished this one. So it is completely clean, and we're going to show you some photo and video, one and or the other, of the clean passageway after this service is done. So another preference is we're doing this in the shop. We've got a pressure washer in here. It makes a mess. It just makes a mess. The floor's wet. I probably could do this outside, put it in service position, do it outside in the parking lot. But then again, I just didn't want to be bent over the front of this car. And ultimately, this is so far back, I don't feel like I could see it well enough to be comfortable in what I was doing. So this is my preference right now. It may change later, but this is what I'm doing. I got a mop bucket close by. I got drain buckets under the car where the exhaust is down. You can see back there, I got the catalytic converters down. So when we start cleaning the ports, water pours out back there into a bucket. When I start this process from the front, I'll have another bucket here that'll catch the water running off the front. So we start with wand number 1. We go straight in, cleans the port front to back. You just clean straight ahead. Okay. Then we change to wand number 2, and you can see wand number 2 has the orifices on one side at 90 degrees. And the purpose of that is only to clean the exhaust or the air passageways that are 90 degree or perpendicular to the main one, back to the back side of the exhaust valve. So once the main port is cleaned, we take this and you can see the graduated area here showing different numbers. That would come in play if I had the correct adapters. You know, the bulletin states to go into for the first port like number 10 and number 20 or whatever they may be. I'm not able to do that with the adapters that I have. So what I have done is, in the past, in a previous video, I made this little air blow gun, and this is where the air would come out because I'll have it capped off at the end. And the back side of each take is how far I need to go into the passageway. So I've just made my numbers for reference. So the first hole is so close that it doesn't even get to the numbers on the side of the wand. But the second one they'll get to 13, and the third one gets to about 22 or 22 and a half. So I'll be running the pressure washer in here, and I've got a mark with a Sharpie showing the angle of that port. You can see my Sharpie mark here. I know that's the angle of the port that I need to clean, so that Sharpie mark's going to line up with this long line right here, because that lines up with the orifices of the wand. So I'll hit that first hole, and it's very close. It's probably that far in, very close. And I'll put my thumb on number 10, and I'll go back to my thumb hits number 10, clean the second one. And then I'll go to, or I'm sorry, 13, I believe it was 13. Clean the second one, and then 22. I'll put my thumb there and go back to 22. And I just make sure this line's in or parallel or in line with my Sharpie mark there. But I'll keep my thumb there, and you will be able to tell when you're cleaning the orifice, because the water will not spray back out this way. It'll spray into the back of the exhaust valve and come out the catalytic converters down there. So if you're getting a lot of pressure or back pressure here, you need to move that wand in or out one way or the other to find that center point, and that water will quit coming out here. You'll see that here shortly. So we invested in the tooling to do this so we can do it more efficiently, so we don't have to remove manifolds, which is the biggest time consumer and frustration of this whole job. So we made the investment in the tooling so we can pass on that savings to our clients, and we can also get these cars in and out faster that way. So we're going to put this together, and we'll come back with a video showing this the bank 2, which we have not cleaned yet. So we're going to start cleaning this one, and you'll get to see it. Okay, so we now have both banks clean. We have the main passageway that runs parallel in the cylinder head, as well as the perpendicular smaller ports that run into the back of the exhaust valve. Everything's clean. A couple points I failed to mention earlier. Before this process started, we did remove all the spark plugs, so all spark plugs are removed. So before we put it back together, we can pull out any water, residual water that may have made it into the cylinders. We'll remove that, put spark plugs back in, coils, all that good stuff. Also, something, our pressure washer, we have it attached to our hot water source here at the shop. So that likely helped us a good bit. Maybe you can cut that cleaning time down a good bit as well by using hot water. But there again, this is our first time using this tool. You're seeing it for the first time just like we are, but I believe the hot water helped a lot. So I've got the bore scope in bank 2, and you can see right here on the video, we'll start outside the engine and we'll go in. Now I'm showing you the large portion of the screen is the main air passageway. So the little dark lines that we're seeing that look like veins, that's actually just water that hadn't dried out completely yet. But see how clean it is? It's extremely clean. And we'll put pictures up of the passageway before we started. So there's little remnants back there, but I mean, it's so clean. I feel like the tool did a fantastic job. So I'm going to switch to the 90-degree angle so we can look at the passageways that run up to the back of the exhaust valve. Let's get to one of those. Got one coming up. Right there. Look how perfectly clean. That's beautiful. You can see all the way into the valve stem. There's no restriction. So that's the very first one. We'll go back and check the second one. There's the second one. Very nice. So the hole, you can see how clean the hole is in the very bottom. Let's go to the third one. And that one as well. Clean all the way to the bottom. So my opinion is, I think the tool did a fantastic job. It did exactly what they say. I believe it would have been much easier and maybe a little less messy for me if I had the proper adapters to bolt to the front of the block here. May have been a little bit cleaner job. But either way, I like the tool. This is the way we're going to start cleaning these ports out when we get those fault codes on these engines. Much better than pulling exhaust manifolds. So anyway, you have any questions, put them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching our video, and we hope this helps you as well as our client, and we'll see you on the next pad video.